Hi everyone, this is Father Leo with platinggrace.com and a few updates. And the first thing I want to do is just apologize for not being able to communicate to you with some pastoral notes, especially on our e-blast and on social media. I've been busy and I'll explain all of that in a moment, but I want to let you know that this week we are going to be hosting our supper club, which is hosted through our academy, which is our online community. So I want to invite you to consider becoming part of the Plating Grace Academy. And how do you do that? You just simply go to our website, platinggrace.com, and click on Academy. And there you can see different levels and how you can participate. You can provide a certain amount of support for us, and then that gives you access to different levels of our online content, which is a great way to avoid the craziness of social media, yet still interact with a community of people who are going to be a little bit more in tune with our faith and how to live our life in a world where social media has really become not media, and it's definitely not social. So what I'd like to do is invite you to become part of the Academy. You not only support us, but we provide content and an online community for you, including this week. We're going to be having a discussion about how to deal with all of the rumors, or at least the news stories that we're hearing of more lockdowns, more mandates, more restrictions, and how do we deal with that personally and with our family and with our communities. So join us for our Academy's Supper Club, and you can get information when you become a member of the Academy. And now here's the message for you in terms of what I was doing for the past 2 weeks. I've been busy because I was with my priest fraternity group. We've been meeting for the past 25 plus years. And then I also had a week of retreat as well as some formation with my institute, the Voluntas Dei Secular Institute. So 2 weeks of reminding myself of my call to the priesthood and what does that mean, because some people can forget that I am a priest because they see me cooking on a food truck. But I will never forget that I'm a priest, and I'm so grateful for people who come to the truck not just to experience the food, which is pretty good, by the way, but they want to experience church and community outside of their parish community, because God and faith and church, it's not limited to those walls of your parish boundaries, but has to enter into the world. And in a way, I think that's what our truck is trying to do: bring the presence of Christ through a community, events, and through food, kind of where the rubber meets the road. And there was one time when that happened, and it was a very touching moment for me. As I was cooking on the truck, there were some people who knew who I was, and they wanted to not only taste the food, but to kind of get away. At the end of their meal, they wanted to get a picture, and then the husband proceeded to ask me for a blessing for his wife because she had been diagnosed with something. And they came out to the food truck because they wanted to kind of give themselves a positive distraction. And so they wanted to do something with their family, to do something fun, and food trucks are fun. But he also knew that I was a priest, and he came specifically so that he can ask a blessing for his wife who was diagnosed with something, and they were struggling with that as a family. And it was a very, very touching moment where I had a chance to pray with them. They were getting emotional. I was getting emotional. The kids were getting emotional. But it reminded me of how Jesus was. You know, he didn't just perform miracles in synagogues. In fact, he did it in the midst of the world, in people's homes, at the tables of sinners, on a field where he fed people. And it just kind of confirmed my vocation as a priest and my vocation within my vocation, to make sure that I am bringing communities together and making sure that the faith that I profess as a Catholic priest isn't limited to a church building, but I believe I'm being sent into the world. And as Jesus told his disciples, eat what is set before you. I'm taking it another step, and I'm setting food before other people. And hopefully they will eat it not just for their body, but for their mind and their spirit as well. Thank you for listening to this, and I hope that this made sense. And I hope that you can participate more in our community, the Plating Grace Academy, but also come to an event with the food truck, because I think you're going to find it a true blessing. And if you have events that require food, consider bringing us out, especially if you're in the Maryland area. We'd love to show up at your workplace, at your office company, or your office corporation where they have a campus of different workers for lunch, or maybe even at your parish. Invite us and we'll come to your church, and we will provide not just a meal, but an inspiring message as well. Thanks for listening, and stay hungry for God.